Oh man.
Speaks the gospel of the camel. I speak the gospel of the dunes. The sand is in my veins. Come ride a camel with me today.
What up, dude? Thank you for the sub. Appreciate it, man. I should hopefully hear back today from the people I need to reach out to. I think it was probably I didn't hear anything yesterday because of a U.S. holiday. What up, Purplish? Chat, I had the worst morning. Bodhi didn't make it to the yard for a incident, and it happened on the porch instead, and had to clean that up before stream. So that's how my morning started out. I woke up, I was out of bed by like 6:50 a.m. I was like, I'm actually gonna start streaming on time this morning. I'm gonna get started around 7. And then the poop gods had other plans for me. They said, nah, this golden retriever is gonna ruin your morning. Poor guy. Alright. So yesterday we got done writing. We had Claude write a bunch of tests for us. And we need to see which ones are passing. All right, these dogs need to chill. Relax. No. Go lay down. Go. I think there's a solicitor at my doorbell. Or at my door. Can't really blame him for barking at a solicitor, you know? Yeah, looks like pest control door-to-door people. I hate solicitors. All right, bun run test, watch. All right, so we have a bunch of tests to fix. So let's start with that header test. Whatever, endeavor. I can't only that. That's annoying. There, that should get us. Yeah. Wait, that test is passing? Is that true every time? Okay. Then let's take you. There we go.
Functions describe the world.
Thank you for the follow, Des. Appreciate you. Non-zero Z field. Reserved opcodes 3 through 15, and let's see here. I need to get open Twitch chat on here. Let's say new split right. Do that. Shrink that down to 40. Launch twit. Whoops. There we go. And then let's go fix our implementation of the header. Z. So it can be 0, 1, or 2. So let's go fix the opcode. Opcode. So come down here. I think that's the third byte, right? Byte 2. Let's take this, yoink that, and we'll say we'll come in here and we'll say const opcode equals that. Or why didn't we get the result? So if the opcode is greater than 2, opcode if it's less than 0, which I don't think it can because we're parsing an unsigned int. So if it's greater than 2, we need to fail. Say return parse result dot fail new parse result dot issue. What is it? I never remember this frickin' syntax. Parse result dot parse issue. Yeah, it should be just parse result type. And this takes the AST, the type, which we'll just throw in the opcode, and we'll say let's see, how do they outline this in the spec? Say opcode must be 0, 1, or 2, received opcode. All right, so that actually fixed the problem there, but we still have other ones we should change here. Z const Z equals that. And then we'll say non-zero, yeah. Does not equal 0. And then our codes. Wait, I'm confused on that one. Where's the header? These are bits, our code. So it can be 0 through 5. What up, Maxwell? So this is gonna have to be, we'll do the same thing here. Let's grab U.
Functions describe the world.
Do that, and then we'll validate the R code. And the rules for R code is that it has to be 0 through, what we say was 0 through 5. Hate that song. This is our code. Okay, so those are all the encoding rules for those bits, and we're passing the test. Great. Let's comment out the next one, or uncomment out. That's passing. Great. Validates reserved opcode values. Great. Great. Validate semantic consistency between QR and other fields. I don't know if that's true yet. It's going well. We have like basically everything except for compression. And I can decode compression, but I can't encode compression yet. And once that's done, there's not like a lot, like the hard work of like parsing packets is pretty much done. And then it's just like cleaning things up, getting a good API around it. But the DNS packet parser is almost done once compression's done. All right, so we fail there. Queries QR0 cannot be authoritative. Where does it say that in the spec? What am I looking for? The spec, RFC-1035. No, I haven't seen him yet. I haven't bookmarked to watch today. Where the hell? All right, here we go. So this test is looking for the QR, a 1-bit field that represents whether this message is a query or a response. Okay. A 4-bit field that specifies the kind of query in this message, sure. This bit is valid in responses. Okay, so AA just can't be, yeah, basically exactly what it says here. I should just, why do you free your hair again? What do you mean? You mean when? I don't know. Whenever I wake up early enough to take a shower before stream, which is like never. I'm I'm the opposite of balding. All right, so we need to grab QR out as well. So let's just grab QR. Const QR equals that. And then we need the AA, which comes here. And that's going to be that. Paste that there, replace that. And let's validate here. We'll say if QR equals 0, and AA equals 1. We'll say, let's see here, what is the right error here? Authoritative answer bit should be 0 for questions, received 1. Likewise, we should probably go in the other direction, right? No, that's the, it should be AA. Why is that failing? I'm not sure that's a compliant header. Right? I'm reading this spec right. A 1-bit field that specifies whether this message is a query or a response. And then AA will be, this bit is valid in responses and specifies that the responding name server is an authority for the domain name in question. So this will only ever be 1 if QR code is 1, but it can also be 0 when QR is 1, which is the logic we have here, right? Where did I put that? QR equals, if QR equals 0 and A equals 1, we get the second byte, we bit shift it. Yeah, that's testing that bit. Shift 7, yeah. I think our generator might be bad, because now our this first test is failing. Arbitrary valid DNS header uint8 array. This isn't that's being set to 1. Where do we get the header from? Arbitrary valid header. Zero or 1. Right, this isn't this isn't right. So let's we're gonna copy this and we're gonna fix this arbitrary here, and we're gonna say arbitrary valid question DNS header, and if it's a question, this will be 0, and AA will be 0, and then we'll take this and we'll throw this in here, and this will be answer. And an answer will be 1, and AA will be 0 or 1. And then we'll say this is going to be a union of those two. fc.union, or either, or one of. There we go. Control S to cycle. Do we just do an array of arb DNS, no, question arb answer header? Do we not need that? There we go. There we go. Now it's working. We just had a bug in our mock data generator. Great. All right, so the next test to uncomment out is going to be, we can fix this. We can bump that over to there. Next one is round trip encoding preserves all fields. That should be fine. Yeah. Fails on invalid length. I think that should work as well. Great. All right, so now let's jump to our question test. And yep, we're getting some failures. And we'll do the same thing where we'll just uncomment one at a time. And we can say only on this describe suite. All right, that's passing. It fails on labels with invalid characters. We are not validating character ranges. DNS labels must contain only letters, digits, and hyphens. Okay, ASCII range, A to Z. ASCII values for loader case are 97 through 122, 63 through 90. In fact, there's an easier way. No, this is fine. I want this ASCII table. (97 through 122, 65 through 90). If you had to pick 4 JavaScript libraries to build websites for the next 3 years, what would those be and why? Well, obviously Effect is one of them. Effect. Trying to think about what else. Like JavaScript specific, or like does it include like SDKs and like database ORMs and like front end libraries? I haven't used LiveStore yet. What we're gonna work on after we get done this DNS stuff is gonna be a LiveStore project, but I would probably say so Effect, React, Next.js, There's 3, and number 4 would be ElectroDB. I think I could build pretty much anything with those 4 libraries. Yeah. Dynamo can be sometimes annoying, but I can work with it well enough to make it work for almost any use case. The amount of like AIs, like I think I would rather write Svelte 5 and Svelte Kit, especially with some of the new stuff they're coming up with, but AI is not good at it. So I think I'd rather just do React, and I'm more productive with React because I have like over a decade of experience writing React. Yeah, I would do Next.js, React, Effect, ElectroDB. I don't know. There's just like stuff like V0 is really bad at like Svelte and stuff, but it's like really good at React. There's just more stuff. Like there are things I want AI to do for me, and the things I want to do, especially on the front end, like it's just better at React because there's more. It's been trained on more. I'd still probably take React next because I have way more experience and I'm way more productive with it. Even though I think I like where Svelte 5 is going more than I like where Next and React is going. But just out of my own productivity, I would probably still do Next and React. Okay. So let's jump over to our impl. And we need to test that we're done with the header. Why didn't that collapse? That's weird that, whatever. So labels, we have to validate labels. We should write a label schema, to be honest. Here I am in my head. So the header doesn't have that. In fact, we should probably just write a label schema. I think I have one up here started. I'm just not using it. Yeah, label. Max items. I need to look up schema filters. I wouldn't say I'd rather use Svelte 5 quite yet. Like, let me see if I can find. I think I probably liked the tweet last night. The Svelte team is doing a bunch of really cool shit with, where the fuck is this? Did I not like it? Well, I know it'll be on the Svelte repo. Svelte GitHub. Discussions. Asynchronous Svelte. They've got some really, really cool ideas in here. Let me see if I can find the one with generators. Elliot, where did this go? Is it on Kit? discussion. Remote functions. Here we go. Remote functions look sick. So these are basically RPCs. Dude, maybe I would pick Svelte. I like writing Svelte a lot. I'm just not as productive. Hey, that's Elliot. Dude, this is so funny. Elliot used to be on my team at work. And his GitHub handle breaks everything. It breaks stuff in GitHub's UI. They can't render this half the time. This is exactly the maximum amount of characters for a GitHub handle. It breaks stuff on GitHub. It breaks stuff in Linear. It breaks stuff in Slack. It breaks stuff in Notion. It's so funny. Every time I see his name pop up, I crack up. Where did they talk about the generator stuff in here? Actually, Maxwell, you'd be interested to know that Elliot's working on the OpenTelemetry tracing for SvelteKit, and they've taken a ton of inspiration from Effects implementation. Where is this? Is it not in here? I saw somebody tweeting about this yesterday, and Elliot's been sending me examples in Slack. I know it's in a thread somewhere. Maybe it's in a pull request.
Functions describe the world.
Definitely not my alt account. Tracing, yeah, here they're adding tracing. I don't know where it was. I don't know. I would take either. Just out of productivity and familiarity and stability right now, I'd probably still take Next and React. But I think a lot of stuff that's happening with Svelte is really cool. And I think the APIs with Svelte, I think feel really, really good. Man, I could have sworn I would have liked that tweet. Did I bookmark it? Annoying. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, I watched that talk already. Okay. Back to the spec. I got nerd sniped by that question. All right, we need to look at the effect schema docs. In fact, filters is exactly where we wanted. I want to I almost need to write my own filter. ElectroDB greater than Drizzle and Postgres. I think I can, even though for some use cases, I think DynamoDB is more annoying to work with than SQL. I am confident in my ability to scale Dynamo way easier and way better than Postgres. And I would rather pay the price of writing some more annoying application code and putting it behind an interface than getting bit later trying to scale SQL. Yeah, ElectroDB is a TypeScript. It's not an ORM. It's like the Drizzle of It's like the drizzle of Electro Deep or Dynamo. Did you see Julio's work on field element mapping in Schema 4.0? I looked at the README early last week, I think, Maxwell. So if it's been in since then, I read it. Predicate function. Here we go. I think this is what I need. Yeah, here we go. Schema.filter. AB struct.pick A. Dude, that's so good. That's so good. Bro, I cannot wait for Schema 4. Schema 4 is... Schema can be hard to work with today. Schema 3, there is like some annoying and hard APIs. And like, you just grit and bear it because it's so... It ends up being worth it, but this is amazing. Deriving, I read the deriving tuples part. I read the deriving unions part. It's so fucking good, dude. A, B, map pick, A, schema dot optional key. Does that make them all optional? Oh, I see what map pick. That's insane. So it's going to say, this is basically saying make A and C optional. Yeah. Tuple map pick. Oh my god, I cannot wait for Schema 4, dude. Will Schema 4 be compatible with Effect 3? Rename indices. That's wild. You don't think so? Damn, man. I am so excited. Do you guys have a ETA on like Effect 4 Alpha? Because I will literally adopt Effect 4 in Alpha. I don't even care. I will ship it straight to prod. What about KS? Yeah, I know. I need to find time to play with that, Ryan. It's just not going to be this week, probably. Maybe we'll play with it next week on stream. All right, I'm getting totally nerd sniped by a million things here. Oh, I had a question about work or cluster after our meeting. We had a meeting with Tim the other night, and I can send this to Tim too, but one of our devs had a concern about the I guess the resiliency and the scalability of having a single shard manager. I think it would be useful to yeah, I think we need a little bit more documentation and on the cluster part of things. Once cluster for stable-ish, we will be going full steam on 4.0. Nice. Yeah, but I thought it can only go down for like 10 minutes or something before there's a problem. I think I'm gonna have a hard time selling cluster until the shard manager's HA, high availability. I still might try to deploy it for something small and play with it, but I don't know if I'm gonna get the sign off to deploy. Cool. Yeah, I'll post that. Max items, now I need a schema.filter, and this is going to take a function which gets our uint8 array, and we'll do that, and we'll drop, this needs to return what? All right, if it returns undefined, it's good. If it returns a message, it fails. And that's kind of like Zod. Let's just do this for a second. And we want to, we'll say, where was the ASCII stuff? ASCII table. So we can do a const uppercase alphabet, ASCII alphabet, I don't know, whatever, it's going to be good enough for us. ASCII alphabet, and it's going to be schema.number, and we'll do dot pipe, and then it'll be schema, and here schema dot between 65, is that inclusive within is there filters, adding annotations, pattern ends with number filters. I guess I could do oh, it is inclusive. Okay. 65 and what was it, 90? Yeah. We'll add an annotation. Do that there. This will be uppercase ASCII alphabet. The valid ASCII code for uppercase English letters. I don't know. We can come up with better naming later. And then we'll do lowercase upper becomes lower, and whoa. Yeah, that's right. And that's between 97 and 122. 97 and 122. Lowercase. And then we need the ASCII for hyphens 0 through 9 hyphen. We can get the ASCII for that really easy by coming over here, and to get ASCII for the hyphen, it'll just be that dot, is it char code? Is it char? Yes, or is it code point? Code point is a UTF-8. I always forget these. Mozilla, I think it's char code, not code point. I think code points has to do with UTF-8. Mozilla, we'll start there. Code point at UTF-16. That's right. JavaScript strings are UTF-16. I forgot that. So we want char code at, right? Char code. Returns an integer between 0 representing UTF-16. Unicode code points range from 0. Always return a value that is less than, because the higher code points are represented by a pair, right? Therefore, in order to get a full character value, it's necessary to treat it, but also char as if manipulating a string with 2 characters or your card. I just want to get ASCII. Get string ASCII code point JS. Okay. Char code app. Yeah. What up, Sam? So the char code, we want the char code for what we were just looking at there. Dot char code at 0.45. We'll go back to here, and we'll just write a const hyphen ASCII
Functions describe the world.
char code is going to be schema.constant or literal, and we said 45. We'll pipe, add annotations. In fact, I don't even think I need to. I think that was him. Did you let them out?
Yeah.
Again? Was he okay?
Yeah, he's fine.
Did you poop on the porch, Bodie?
Buddy.
The 2 different spots.
Buddy. Oh, it was in 2 spots.
Yeah, one was over by the rose bush, and then one was right when the door opened.
Did you eat hair or something where it was stuck in your bum?
I don't know. I kind of imagine it happened right when he went out, and then he didn't make it to the yard for the second spot. Because that's what woke me up. He got me up early to go out.
Oh.
And then I just like let him and Baxter out. I wasn't paying attention. And I went to make coffee. And then I came to let them in, and they were both like standing back. I was like, that's weird. And
Then
I was
you
like,
look.
oh, I can't open the door the whole way because there is a pile of Bodhi.
Oh, buddy boob.
So that was my morning. I was like, oh man, I actually got up before 7. Like, I'm going to be on time to stream this morning.
But he said nope.
And then it took me all that time to...
But he said nope, you're gonna be late to stream actually.
Yep.
If it makes you feel better. I didn't realize I had wet dog food in my car.
That's disgusting.
And it exploded. I got in my car and I was like, it smells disgusting in here.
That's gross.
Yeah. So I cleaned that out. But I'm like, damn, I need an air freshener. Like, it was all in a bag. Like, it wasn't, like, in my car itself, you know? Say what?
I don't know.
That I had, there was
Oh,
wet dog food.
disgusting.
It's disgusting. Do I say it weird?
I don't know.
Go and flush. Go and flush what? It was wet dog food in my car. In a Target bag.
Const.
Oh. Oh, I don't know the video. What video are they talking about?
I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm confused. But anyways, I have to go and work.
Okay, goodbye.
Do you want to see all the messages I've gotten so far this morning?
Nope.
I have over 10. And that's just notifications because these have multiple messages.
Did you hear how many times I got paged last night?
Nope, I slept through it. I don't know how I sleep through it, but I sleep through it every time you get paged in the night.
I don't know what I gotta do. I thought I fixed it before I went to bed last. I got it better. Open it, our upstream provider, something changed and we're getting incorrect data formats back from them and it's causing 500s and it's paging me at all hours of the night, even though it doesn't need to be.
Buddy, no.
I have to show you a video before. I can't.
But
There's
I
not
can't
volume.
hear it.
She can't hear it. Just like pull this up, get in
Oh,
chat,
okay.
and valid. Label.
Give her the headphones. Oh, wait, yeah. How do I click on links? Copy. Okay, hold up. I'm gonna figure this out.
Valid. Label. Char. Schema.union.
What the fuck? Okay, now I'm leaving.
All right, goodbye. Can you get the dogs out?
Yeah. Alright, come on everyone. Boys. Good. Winnie's staying.
Okay, you show my dog, please.
Yep.
Thanks. Label character. Valid. Label characters. Alright, I'm skipping this song. It's not doing it for me. Const is valid label character is going to equal schema.is and then label character. And this should return a boolean. Yeah. And we're just gonna make this take value unknown value. And we'll say interface label character extends label character or schema dot type of label character. Wait, why can't I do that? Maybe can only fine. I would love to make that opaque. Value is label character. Maxwell, is there any way to make this type opaque? Yeah, I'm still rocking the Voyager. A TS expect error in this code? Yeah, it's because it has to do just basically the read-only array. Max items works for read-only arrays. This is a uint8 array. It's safe. This is safe. Schema.max items is typed for read-only array. Dude, that's what I thought. That's what I just tried to do. And it didn't work. Watch. If I do type foo, and it needs to be interface. Extends. There, it's upset. An interface can only extend an object type or intersection of object types with statically known members. I guess the underscore in the name is... No, the underscore has nothing to do with it. How do I turn it to a class? Export class label extends. Oh. Then I should probably be able to get rid of this, right? Oh, you bastard. There we go. That'll work. You can do schema.is this. Where would I do that at? As a property instead of the function is valid label character. Oh, you're saying like here. You're saying like is valid equals schema dot is this. What did I do wrong? Is that sometimes annotations break the class? That's annoying. Whatever. I don't care about, that's fine having an external function. I don't care. We can clean this all up later. I just want to get it working. So we'll say uint 8 array dot each for every. And this will be is valid label character. And we'll do that undefined. Otherwise, the error message is to do. And then we want another filter where we'll say uint 8 array dot at index 0 equals, we'll just do this for a second, undefined or to do. What is this? Sure. And then the where were we in here? It can't start with a hyphen or end with a hyphen. Okay. Can't start with a hyphen or end with a hyphen. We'll do the same thing up here. We'll do const is hyphen equals schema dot is ASCII hyphen. I guess I could just do char code point at, but whatever. Number value is ASCII hyphen. Value. Right. I can do, I can basically do the same thing, right? Wait, why doesn't that work? Oh, value is 45. It was too broad. Ha! That's funny. Sure. We'll say value at, we'll say, delete there, and we'll say is hyphen. In here, label cannot start with hyphen. Change around that, that'll be undefined. We'll go here and we'll just make this unknown. I'll fix that type error. And then the next one we have to do is basically the last spot where it's like label cannot end with hyphen. I think there's a, isn't there a write method now to get the last item? I can do find last. I don't really want to do that. I don't want to invoke a method. Tail? No, it's like, I thought it was built into JavaScript. Because it's, don't arrays have first? Hold on, I'm going crazy here. I swear array.first, array first Mozilla. Am I wrong? I must be wrong. Fill at, I can do at -1. Yeah, exactly what Robin just said. All right. We're gonna ask Claude Code to export const. Let's go back over here. Dylan using effect too much, mixing up prototype methods. True. All right, Claude, you're going in. You're in, boy. Write a plan for adding property tests using fast check and effect for the label schema in at index. For adding property tests. Your plan should be granular, detailed, individual steps to take to complete the task. Thank you for the follow, him. Implement the plan and run only the label tests when you're done. Wait, how did Gleam come up? Finished and not existing or complete as a library? Completed. You move on to Gleamlang or what? What will happen? I'd like to start Elixir or OCaml. OCaml is the most valuable thing I've ever learned as a developer. I'm excited. I love Gleam. I think Gleam is my favorite. If Gleam compiled to native, it'd be my favorite programming language. I think Gleam has my favorite syntax of any language. I'm interested to see what Elixir feels like when it has a full type system. But without a doubt, OCaml, I mean, many of you guys know this, but OCaml is the thing that had the most influence on me as a dev and certainly made me a much better developer than I was and would be. EPHP effect. Probably not. I just don't have interest in doing PHP. Kraut. I pay for well, I don't pay for it. Work pays for the $100 max subscription for me, so I get a big old bucket of usage every 5 hours, and I only ever hit that usage once because I was doing something ridiculous with scaling out like a bunch of subagents, and I had already been using it for 4 hours.
Functions
So
describe the world.
oh, I did forget digits. Here, don't update the implementation of the label schema or any code at index ever. Write correct tests to the spec. It is okay if they are failing, as long as they are correct. I will then use TDD to correct my implementation. Oh, it can't have consecutive hyphens. Ah, chat, that's interesting. I guess that makes sense that you couldn't have a consecutive hyphen in a URL. Yeah. Dude, there's so many little gotchas in this spec. What up, kitty board? I think PHP, to be clear, I think modern day PHP looks really, really good. I think I don't know how the language spec evolves and how that's voted on or what the governing body is, but I think whatever the governing body of PHP, they're being better arbiters of the language right now than TC39 is of JavaScript. That's my hot take. Mic drop. Boom. I could make a regex. That probably would have been smarter.
The world.
I don't know what's faster, regex or what I'm probably regex would be faster. We'll go change the implementation to do regex. All right, so what did you do? Property label. All right, great. And we should now have tests for labels. Where are my label tests? Yeah, here we go. Why did that just happen? We're working on a DNS packet parser right now, Kittyborg, excuse me. What's the best way to learn a new language while you already know a couple of them? Build stuff. Build something you think would be fun to build. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm worried about. I think this is spending a lot of time generating arbitraries. We're probably gonna have to fix our arbitrary generator. But let's go. I want to go fix my implementation first. So in here, we can switch to using, we can use regexes, right? Filters, regex. Ooh. Schemas can do regexes, right? I think I can do schema.regex, schema.regex, schema.pattern. Yo, what's up, low level? All right. So that, I don't know why I dude, part of me also, I want to make a parser combinator at some point too, or play with parserator. Oh, I get a number. I don't know if I want to convert to strings. Because right now we're just operating over bytes. I guess that's a pretty inexpensive, right? It could be like schema dot number dot pipe schema dot transform, and it'd be like encode. I don't know if I want to do that. Do we think it would be faster to do multiple filters? God damn it, I just got paged. I know this isn't an important page. Well, let me make sure it's not an important page. I'm almost positive it's a freaking, yeah, domain status. Yeah, okay. That's not a big deal. I need to fix that. That's gonna be the first thing I have to fix at work today. Okay. Let's just see uint 8 array to string. So we could take a text decoder. We'll do a single filter here in a second, so we only have to loop over it once. No, I don't think any of those are what I want. I would need just a normal string. A hex encoded string into a uint 8 array. Decodes a base into a uint 8 array. Decodes a hex encoded. I mean, I could do 2 decodes, right? Like it would be decode. I'm just gonna loop over array to string. No, you don't want to go to a hex string. You'd want to go to a, you would have to go to decode hex, right? You would go decode hex, and then you would do decode hex string, right? You'd have to do 2. You'd go from uint array to hex to UTF-8. How much was Turbo Repo acquired for? I have no idea. I don't know what... Jared joining the company was way before me. I'm just gonna do a single loop here. We're gonna change this to be... we'll do const digit is equal to schema dot number dot pipe. All right, I'm just gonna grind this out quick. Schema dot between 0 and 9. Bro. Alright, I just muted the monitor. What props? I guess we should not do it this way. We should do let index equals 0. Index is less than uint 8 array dot length. Uint 8 array dot or index plus plus. And then we don't really need previous byte. We can do const previous byte is equal to index greater than 0, uint 8 array dot index minus 1. Otherwise, leave it undefined. And then get the current byte. It's going to be uint 8 array dot at index. And we'll come in here. If index is equal to 0 and is hyphen byte, we'll return label cannot start with. That if index equals uint 8 array dot length minus 1, cannot end with hyphen. And then we'll say the last thing we need to test is, I guess we can test this first, right? If not is valid label character byte. Invalid label character. Quad. Write a better error message than provide context on the valid characters. Yeah, just give me the thing. You don't need to read. Don't be such a bot. Perfect, that's what I want. The hell is going on here? It would be, I'm just gonna put byte in there. Okay. This seems correct. Right, so we're testing that it's a valid label character, and now we're including digits. We're validating that it can't start with a hyphen, that it can't end with a hyphen, and that there's not 2 consecutive hyphens in a row. So now I want to run our tests. All right. What test? Validate edge cases for label. I don't know what the edge cases are, guy. So validate character restrictions. All right, so let's see what that is. And only ASCII letters. Sure. If we jump over to the test, is this label? Are we testing label? Where is it? Describe label. Label. What? Where's the label test? Oh, dot only. All right. Rejects invalid labels. Validates the label. Here we go. So if we comment out all our tests down through here, they should be passing now, right? Let me see here. Yeah, why is that taking so long to run? I don't know what's happening there. This must be the arbitrary generation. We'll try again. I'm suspecting it's the arb generation here. Yeah, it's got to be arbitrary. Let's see if we can get that first one to run. And let's kill this test again. All right. That's interesting. All right, let's go check out that test then. Schema.is. I don't think we even need to run this sync effect, right? We can just do oh, I guess it's like the same thing, right? That's fine. We're using fast check and vitest and technically effect, but now that's interesting. So why is it saying that this is a invalid label? Because this ends up being let's see here. How do we go from a code point to a from code point? Sure. Oh, it's because no. We should still be fine. $48. What should 48 be? I don't think 48's a valid. I don't think 48's a valid byte, right? Unless that's the hyphen. That is the hyphen. Or no, it's not. That's not a valid. It generated an invalid label. So that's a problem. How did it generate that 48? Or here he is, 0 through 9. Oh, it's using that as digits. Is it strings or? Yeah. Okay, I guess it would be 48 through 57, huh? For digit. So our digit's wrong. $48 through What did we say it was? 57. There we go. Okay. Great. And then go back to our test. And the next one is validates character restrictions. Valid characters for sure. 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 And that's not even a property test, so it should be fine. So this test should pass. This isn't a property test either. Oh, it's taking forever to generate an invalid. I see. So we probably have to fix that arbitrary. This should go fast. Yeah, there we go. So something's wrong with generating an invalid label is prohibitively expensive. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna give this to 03 actually. 03 Pro. Yeah, sure. This arbitrary is this fast check arbitrary is too expensive to generate for a RFC-1035 label. Invalid. Create a more performant arbitrary for invalid labels. Yeah, that's a really expensive filter to run, or arbitrary to run. No wonder. So the way arbitraries work here is this is saying when we generate a random invalid label, it's going to pick one of these options. So either this one, and then it basically says, okay, generate a string with a min length 64 and a max length 100. And then it filters based on this regex, and if the regex fails, it goes and just generates another random string. So it's like just doing this loop over and over and over and over again until this filter passes, which is why it makes it so expensive. I keep changing my color scheme a lot. How did you manage to stick with one for such a long time? Dude, I've been on Cappuccino Macchiato for a while now. I was on Dracula for like the first half of my career, and then I switched over to Cappuccino. I don't remember if there's anything in between. I don't know. The pastel colors of Cappuccino Macchiato just work super well for me.
Functions describe the world.
Like, I feel good looking all day at it. Alright, come on, buddy. What are we doing here? I should have just done 03. I don't know what the difference between 03 Pro is. If you do, here, it's just font. It's Mona Lisa. Bruh. I'm about to switch this to 03. You can do it, I believe. I wonder if I can, dude, I'm gonna end up doing this myself. The easiest way to do this would just be take ASCII characters that aren't. Basically make an array. Yeah, exactly what it's saying right here. That's what I was getting ready to do. Alright, while this is cooking, we're gonna just go ahead and take a Twitter break. Actually, we're gonna do some more research. I want to think about how we're gonna handle encoding compression. Let's see what this ends up looking like here. Yeah. Good idea. Good job. String of is deprecated. What are we supposed to use? Dude, if you deprecate and don't offer an alternative, it's annoying. String. What is the constraints here? Size unit. Please use string. All right, the Where's the RFC? It's over here. So we'll have, when we need to encode, we'll have a structure, right? We'll have a data structure that looks like, where is this thing? Is it up here? Where's message at? We'll have this structure here. And a message must be able to have multiple or no, well the question, the answer, so this is a resource record, same here and same here. So when we're encoding a message, we need to keep track of, like, we need to keep track of the previously seen domains, or names, I guess. That's such a tricky problem. We could do something clever where we like use like a prefix tree and then reverse the domain names. Right, so you end up with like this structure, because each of these sections can have domain, like full domains in it, and they use pointers. So you don't, like, if you have like the same, like if you have a, this is just a good example here, right? Like this packet has f.isi.arpa, foo.f.isi.arpa, and just arpa as the root. And rather than repeating all that data, they use these pointers. So 1 indicates a pointer. This says the index. You jump back here. Here's f, here's I, s, I, here's arpa. And that builds out this right here, right? Foo, pointer, back down. So you could possibly have like a prefix tree where you have like ARPA, and then you would have like ISI, and then you would have like F, and then you'd have F, foo. This would be a, I don't know what the, I'll just mark it with a star. F.isi. This would be that. And in your node as you're processing, as you're encoding the question and the answers. Every time you hit a domain, you add it to the prefix tree and you denote the offset in the uint8 array. Offset in the uint array. And then you would reverse, right? You'd like read the resource, or you'd read the name out of the resource record, and then you'd reverse it, and then you'd check if it is a if there's any paths in the prefix tree, and if it does, you follow it down to the root, or like the smallest branch, and then you'd have like a pointer here that would be like 20, right? And just 26 point it. 26 would be U. Yeah, I think that works. So I'm gonna write that down. When encoding question plus resource record names, reverse the array, reverse the name, and store in a prefix tree where the leaf/words, leaf/word nodes hold the index of words previous, the offset index of where it was previously encoded. Okay. All right, I think that's our encoding strategy. That's at least like a relatively fast implementation. I'm sure there's something smarter we could do, but that feels smart off the rip. All right, let's see if our AI got this done. Okay, we can take this, jump back to our test now, and go down. Okay. All right, so we failed here. It failed on an empty array. And which test was that? It was rejects invalid labels. Hydrate. Last sip of coffee. All right, so let's go update the implementation. That this must be we can really get rid of this now, right? We can put that in the filter, right? We can say if uint8 array dot byte length dot is greater than 63, we'll return label must be between 1 and 63 bytes. Unit 8 array dot byte length equals 0, or do that. We can get rid of you now, get rid of that. That'll pass now. Nice. We got rid of that. The TS ignore, which is nice. Should probably use byte length here. I don't know what the difference between length and byte length is. That's a good question. Difference between uint 8 array dot length and dot byte length in JavaScript. Whoops, do this all the time. Are they equal? Yeah, sure. Okay, great. Let's go start uncommenting out our other tests here. This should pass. Validates character restrictions. Yeah, this should be good. Yep, great. Next test is validates hyphen placement rules. This should also work. Great. Validates edge cases. We'll have to read these in a second. Empty label. Yep. Single character letter. Okay, single character digit should fail. 2 valid characters should pass. Mixed letters digits should pass. Let's go. Let's go, chat. We've got a solid label. All right, now let's go use our label schema in the rest of our implementation. So now that we have a label schema, we can go to our question, which is a name, which our name schema is actually a array of labels. Schema.maxItems 255. Let's export that. It's not a uint 8 array. All right, we'll have Claude write test now. For our name. What was the type that had byte length? It was a array buffer, I believe. For the name schema. Your plan should be granular. The tests should comply with RFC-1035. It is okay if tests fail as long as they are semantically correct. I will use TDD to correct the implementation. I will use TDD to correct the implementation in @index. Never make updates to existing tests or to @index. Why can't I copy that? That's really annoying. I can't copy this chat. That's so annoying. I have to go over here. Array buffer is a subclass of array, so it'll have length on it. I don't think it hallucinated. What do you mean you tried it? Okay, so a uint8 array. Uint8. It's technically a uint8 array. They changed the TypeScript types for this recently. Oh, it's from a typed array. It's a subclass of typed array. There you go. That's what we were looking for. I use one monitor, and technically I have my MacBook on my right, but I just keep Slack on that. So technically two, but I don't do anything other than just keep Slack on my right screen. And then I have a 32-inch right in front of me. That is my MacBook fan. I couldn't hear that with my headphones on. I wonder if this is my... There's sometimes yeah, we have like a memory leak here. Once this is done writing, we'll kill some of this stuff. I mean, we can probably kill all of these, actually. Is it option? It's possible this is my language server running away. This is probably, yeah, I've noticed that VSTLS sometimes has, like, this happen, and I don't know why. That should help. I really like Dell's high refresh 2K and 4K monitors. Victor, I've had really good success with them. That's what I use now. Is my monitor is a, where is it? Let me blur my screen quick in case my address pops up. Maybe I ordered it from Best Buy. I think I did order it from Best Buy. Or when did I get my monitor? Did I get my monitor in 2024? How long ago was this? Oh no, right here it is. Yeah, right here. Flashbang warning. This is my monitor and I really like it. It's really nice. All right. Give me the command to just run the name tests. Button does. Great. I didn't know you could do that. I don't believe that actually, but we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. That uses Bun's testing framework. I need it for Vitest. Great. That's what I thought. All right, cool. And then we can do watch too, probably, right? All right, so we've got name test running. I'm not positive what's failing here. So let's go look at these tests that we wrote. Name, here we go. Successfully validates. Let's just do the same strategy we've been doing where we just uncomment one at a time and go through our edge cases. All right, so we failed on the original one. We failed on labels. Transformation process failure. True name exceeded max size of 255 bytes. It's possible the arbitrary is wrong. Arbitrary valid label. Labels.review. That seems like it should be fine, right? So where did that fail? Exceeded maximum size of 255 bytes. Let's schema.name. I think this is running other tests, it feels like. Yeah, this is not running the test that I thought it was. It's not targeting correctly. That's why. So we'll go. Let me make sure I don't have a meeting right now. That would be bad. No, I'm good. Okay. We're going to try to get these test passing and then wrap up. But let's go to our test file and we'll do describe.only. And now we can just do test watch. All right, that passes. Cool. I'm surprised that arbitrary invalid name might be too expensive to generate. I guess we can give this to min length, max length, where the label can't we just generate a I guess we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do have O3 do this again since it was really good at it. Now building off that, let's fix this. No, I don't want, stop. I don't want O3 Pro. I want to do, stop. Stop. Come on. Here we go. Copy that. That's a much better implementation. I wonder if we'll have to kill this. Force quit. There we go. Okay, so let's come down here and see if that runs now. It should be much faster. Yeah, there we go. So reject invalid names, and it failed on an empty array. Okay, so we can fix that, right? That's an easy fix. Max items, and then we'll say, is there a schema dot between? Does that work for arrays? No. Items. Items count. I guess we just do min items and max items. Schema.min items will be 1. All right, the counter example here. Reject invalid names. I wonder what that's testing. Rejects invalid names. What is that counterexample? It's got to be the length, right? So we fill whose length exceeds 255 bytes. Min length 4. That's 63 bytes. I don't think this is right. Min length 4, max length. I guess it would be right, because like 63 times 4, 252. It's got to be 5. Dumb bot. What the fuck is happening here? What is the length in bytes of this? We are working on a DNS packet parser to build a DNS resolver client. And right now we're it's 325 bytes. Why would that succeed? Array. Oh, wait. It's an array of labels. This isn't the right way to filter this. Right, we need to do schema.filter. And this will be labels. And in here, we'll do labels dot reduce. We'll get a sum label, and then we'll do sum plus equal label dot byte length, and then this needs to be, if it's greater, actually let's make this a function, body we'll put that there, const bytes, where is that? Close that up. What do I have wrong here? Am I missing? There it goes. Bytes. So we'll say, whoops. If bytes, wait, what? How is this coming out to be a uint8 array? Oh my god, undefined, thank you. That should be a number, right? Sum label plus equal. You have to give it a default, I guess. Now that should be a number, yeah. If bytes equals 0 or bytes is greater than 255, return invalid name length. I guess name must be between 1 and 255 bytes. Received bytes. Bytes. There we go. That's more better. Okay, next test. Validates length boundaries, which should be good. What? Creates a name at exactly 255 octets total. Each label 1 byte length plus content. 4 labels of 63 bytes. Okay. Valid name, max label. Okay. Let's see if that at least passes. That should pass, yeah, okay. So then it creates an oversized This should give us an error, right? Console.log invalid result. True. Max label. $252. How did we end up there? Did AI math wrong? It did math wrong, you freaking idiot. This is 252. Now this will pass. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Validates, this should pass too. Yep. Validates individual labels. Yeah, that should be fine. Because it's using our label parser under the covers. Maximum label count. I actually don't know if this will pass. Name with reasonable number pass. Name with excessive number. Yeah, sure. That feels like a non-deterministic test, but it must be. Validates realistic domain, name structures. It's a good test. Great. Validates edge cases and boundary conditions, which is single characters. That should be fine. Maximum, that looks good. Boom. Mic drop. We've got name parsing. Do we have round tripping on here? We should if we don't. We'll have to add round trips. To do add round trip tests for label and name. All right. Add more edge case testing. Okay. Let's go find someone to raid, y'all. And we will continue work on this next week. We've got edge cases starting to get ironed out, and I think we came up with a good strategy for encoding the compression of names. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, chat. Togglevet, prime. Let's raid. Let's raid Prime. I'm gonna watch Prime. All right, chat. I will catch you later.